Hey guys, it's Chris back again, and I just wanted to do a quick video here. Well, not that quick, it's going to take a little bit, of the Final Fantasy 15 Windows Edition benchmark on my lower end PC rig. It's a i5 4670K CPU and a GTX 770 GPU with 8 gigabytes of RAM, and this benchmark is running off an SSD drive. I figured if there's people out there that have a lower end rig like mine, they are going to be curious how this would run. I suppose they can run it themselves, but just in case someone's thinking of buying this card for some reason and want to know how Final Fantasy 15 will run on it, well, here you go. So I'm going to go ahead and run it on 1080p at the standard quality at full screen, and I've got the frame rate counter up here so you can see it, and I'm recording with my camera just because I don't want to lose any performance by using capture software, so you'll have to forgive the shitty quality, but yeah, so far what I've seen, this standard graphic mode is very equivalent to what the game looks like on a PS4 or PS4 Pro. And what I noticed so far is that on this system it seems to get about the exact same performance as the... I have to adjust there. It gets about the same performance as my PS4 Pro gets. So you'll see it hangs like between 35 and 50 frames a second, which is pretty much the exact same as what the PS4 Pro gets on the light mode. And so yeah, I mean, this PC rig of mine is really about equal to the PS4 Pro, maybe slightly better. Like when I play Grand Theft Auto 5 on it, I can run it, 1080p, 60 frames a second at the PS4 equivalent settings. But for Final Fantasy, it seems like there's not going to be much point of me playing it on PC when I already have it on PS4. So if you have a GTX 770, most likely it's going to play equal to the PS4 Pro, so you don't have to worry about it running bad or anything. But I don't know, I'm not sure if I'll go through the other tests. I'll just explain how the other ones run. So there's a light graphics setting, and that setting is actually worse than the PS4 and Xbox One quality. Like, it reduces the foliage even more. The lighting is way worse, like absent in some areas. Like, it looks like ambient occlusion is gone at that setting. No anti-aliasing. It looks definitely worse than the PS4. Although it runs almost a locked... I think it pretty much runs locked 60 though at 1080p on this system. Now, the high graphical setting, that looks pretty good. That looks like a substantial improvement over the PS4 and PS4 Pro. But, it runs pretty bad at 1080p. It runs, what looks like 15 frames. I can test that for you. Now, the standard mode on my GTX 770, if I run it at 720p, it's almost always a locked 60, which is an option you can't do on the Pro. But unfortunately, you're running it at 720p, so the visual fidelity is not as good. So I mean, I'm already kind of against rebuying this game unless it's a complete edition on a physical disc, which the Royal Edition is not going to be. It's just going to be the vanilla disc with voucher codes. But if I did happen to want to rebuy it on PC, I probably wouldn't until I upgraded to something better, you know. I would like to get a GTX 1080 Ti or the next Volta line of cards, but Bitcoin miners are making that pretty difficult. As you can see here in this battle, it's dropping down to 35 frames and going up to 40 at some points. That's about what it does on the PS4 Pro's light mode during intense battles. So yeah, there wouldn't be much point in me buying this on PC with this rig. I definitely need like a GTX 1080 Ti. But, you know, it does look pretty cool when I play this at 720p and it's like a lock 60. It would be nice if the PS4 Pro allowed you to play at lower resolutions if you prefer frame rate. Kind of like Neo on PS4. But it's not the case here. It's not the case with Final Fantasy, I should say. But, yeah, I mean, if PC is your only option and you got a low-end card like the 770, you might be able to play it at a lock 30 frames at 1080p at, you know, the standard settings. But, yeah. So here's the end of the benchmark. There's no sound during this, by the way, so that's why I decided to talk over it. So you can see 86% GPU usage. Temperature's kind of going up. CPU 55%, so it doesn't really max out the CPU, which is good because I don't want to have to upgrade my CPU anytime soon, but it looks like it does use a ton of RAM. Maybe I could afford to upgrade my RAM at some point as well. I'm not sure what that would really help though. Ah yes, the food looks delicious. Ignis's recipes. And then at the end, they'll tell you that you get standard performance, or it'll say poor if you get bad performance. I guess I will go ahead and run it at the high setting, just so you can see what it looks like and that it's not really achievable. I won't go through the whole thing. The performance doesn't vary that much. So loading still seems pretty long even on an SSD drive. I don't know if the full game will take this long. That's another thing. The game's going to be 100 gigs on PC, maybe 150, I'm not sure. And once they release more DLC, it might be. But, yeah, I probably won't get it on PC just because I don't have the space yet. I need to get a new hard drive, unless I delete a lot of shit. But, there you go. As you can see, well, I guess it's almost to 30 frames, but you can tell, you know. Hopefully there'll be some specific settings you can tweak. I'm sure this high setting must have like MSAA enabled or something. But yeah, as you can see, once they get driving, it's down to below 20. So yeah, at 1080p, the high mode is not going to be very good on this system. So I could probably, I'll show you really quick though. Well, here, I'll just let you see what it looks like first. A little bit. You can see the foliage is much more dense. I'm sure you can watch a direct capture of this benchmark, but yeah, definitely like shadows look a lot better. Draw distance way better. Still some pop in, but definitely much farther away than the PS4 version, and you can see the foliage from much farther away. Especially that hill in the background looks way more detailed. But let's go ahead and go back because this isn't the best quality. Now let's do the high mode at 720p. If you can handle 720p, this might be viable as well. And we'll have to sit through a load time again. But luckily, I'm keeping you entertained, aren't I? Ha ha ha. So, this mode looks more playable. I believe it doesn't get much higher than 40 frames, but let's see. But yeah, I'm not going to bother. I might not even buy the Royal Update if it's more than $10. I think that's bullshit that they're even charging for that update. As much as I want it and I want the game to be complete. But here we go. 720p at high settings. And yeah, it's 37. It's going to get worse when they start driving. Let's see if we can even lock it at 30 potentially. Alright, here's the dip. Yep, dips down to 25, 25, 26. Ooh, and then it dips again. So yeah, even at 720p, it's not very stable. You know, you would want 30 frames at least. But honestly, I wouldn't bother rebuying this game unless I could run it at a solid 60 at 1080p at least. But yeah, crypto miners are making it impossible for me to buy a new GPU. Thanks, crypto miners. Anyways, let's go back one more time and I'll give you 720p at standard quality. And if I remember, yeah, I'm pretty sure this runs almost a locked 60 frames, which does look nice apart from the resolution, but it's not gonna, you're not gonna see the fluidity through this footage since I'm recording at 30 frames. But you can see the frame rate counter. But yeah, it kind of shows that this system is around the PS4 Pro quality. Paid a lot more for this system than the Pro, like a year or two earlier. But, you know, CPU is way better than what's on the PS4. So if I just upgrade the GPU at some point, it'll still be decent. So as you can see, locked 60 frames. On my end, it looks smooth. Looks great. But, you know, the resolution is low. But yeah, these are the PS4 quality settings here, running at almost a solid 60. You can see it's high 50s here, but yeah. So, I mean, if you don't mind playing at PS4 settings at 1080p, with 30 frames per second lock, you might want to play this if you don't have a PS4. But otherwise, if you want better quality than the PS4, you're gonna need something better than a 770. So anyways, that should show you enough. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of pointless, but I figured there might be some people out there wondering how this will run on a lower end system if you don't feel like downloading the benchmark yourself. So, yeah, I will see you guys on the next video. Alright, peace out.